So we'll use these for now. It'll be a good way to test out the layout with actual trains. Well, I am very impressed. Everything seems to be working quite well right out of the gate, which is really not what I was expecting. And I've had a couple of electrical issues with these two switches, so I'll have to do some work there. But other than that, I think that this layout is more or less complete. Just a couple things I wanted to quickly mention before finishing off the video. The first one being that a lot of people were asking if they had my permission to build their own copies of this layout, and my answer to that is absolutely. My entire goal with sharing this thing online was to help inspire people building their own layouts, and if they want to build a sister layout to this one, all the power to them. If you want to reference the channel, I would appreciate it, but obviously I leave that up to you. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that a lot of people who wanted to build copies of this layout were asking if I had a track plan for it. And you might remember that initially this was all drawn out by hand, so I didn't. But I got some track planning software and tried to assemble it all. So I'll include that here, as well as a list of track that you'll need. One thing I would probably advise is getting some track cutters, because there's a couple pieces in the software which didn't quite line up perfectly, so they might need to be snipped. But other than that, go right ahead and build your own copies of it. I think it would be really cool to see this design mass-produced. I'm already aware of two of these things in production before this one's even done. I remember this one time watching an episode of Bob Ross, and he was talking about how whenever he creates a painting, he kind of makes up a story to go along with it. And I try to follow that when building these layouts, so you can see that, you know, a lot of the characters are interacting with each other or looking over something, maybe having an argument about not getting the Aerosmith tickets that they wanted. And I feel like scenes like this just really help to bring a layout to life. Now, as far as this layout goes, this might be the last video you see on the channel of it. We'll have to see, but it's certainly not going to be it for layout construction. I have two videos in mind. The first one being building a layout in a limited amount of space. And the second one I want to do is building a layout on an extremely limited budget. I think both of those would make for some interesting challenges. But just for building a general layout, I am very happy with the results. And I also want to thank everybody who gave me advice along the way. I got so many great comments which really helped guide the construction of this layout and ultimately helped create it to, you know, what it is today.